Hey there, welcome back to Bishop's Garage. I'm Bishop. My yard is my garage. I work on old cars around here for my family and bring you along with so you can enjoy some of what's going on. Today we're going to be working on, well, two things. Well, let's just worry about the one thing. Today we're going to reupholster the front seat of our 1974 VW bus Volkswagen transporter. You can see him back there. It's my son's truck, calls him Jerry. So we're going to take you through that process. So come along and let's do some reupholstery. Thanks. Hey there, welcome back. This is Bishop's Garage. We have our seat from our 1974 Volkswagen 9-passenger transport. This is the passenger side seat. You can see that it's an original without any tears. It just has some soft spongy problems with the foam underneath, but we're going to go ahead and replace this. I just want to give you a review of what we're looking at here that we're going to need to do. So we have some hog rings we're going to have to pull off. You can see some metal stamped triangles that are going through the double stitched edging of the seat that we're going to have to take care of, piercing through. There's 3 more on this side down here. You can see along the bottom we have clips and a few hog rings also that hold the seam on. And then coming up here on the side, you can see there's a small metal rod, a rib essentially, that runs up through the sleeve that allows those 3 diamond-shaped stabber dagger things to go ahead and have more purchase on the seat itself. And we're going to have to replace a hog ring that's missing right here. You'll notice on the other side too, the hog ring's here, but it's separated from the rest of the side of the seat, so we'll replace that one too. Of course, we'll have new vinyl, so it'll need one anyways. Alright, let's get going here. I've done a few seats in the past, a couple on my Mustangs, so I'm kind of familiar with the process. We'll kind of see how this goes here with this one. I'll just narrate as we go. We have a missing hog ring here. We need to make sure that when we put it back together, we put that in place. I don't have a vocabulary for these stabby little triangle things that are stamped out of the metal that kind of act like a hog ring, so I'll just call them daggers. So we've got 3-4 daggers along the top there that we bend back slightly, and that then we pull the vinyl back off of those. We also want to be careful, as the foam itself might be slightly brittle and may or may not have been glued to the seat, so this could be problematic as you're pulling it apart. You may end up with foam flying around somewhere and you don't remember where it goes. Alright, so we've got some darts along the side here too. They might be a little tight. Over time, the vinyl tends to shrink a little bit, so some of these may be pretty tight, so you may want to use a pair of tongs or pliers or whatever you have to just kind of pry those little daggers up, so it gives you a chance to pull the old vinyl off. Now, you may have one where there is no vinyl at all, and so just be aware that this is where you're going to want to pierce the new vinyl edging and anchor those down. Also make sure that you take the little metal rod out, the rib that's used to firm up the side of the vinyl seat. Put that off to the side. Oh man, well, looks like we busted off one of the metal daggers. We'll have to replace that with a hog ring spot. And alright, so the old one just slips off once it's all unhooked, and you can kind of see that it doesn't look too shabby on the inside. There's no tears on this one, but we're going to put this aside for some special treat later. You'll see what that is, and I'll show you that little nice shortcut to kind of restore some of the foam. But we'll give this a fold, and I'll show you what it looks like compared to the new stuff. You'll see that it's all the same pattern, same color, looks great. This will turn out really nice. Alright, so we start with the new back seat, at least the vinyl. Find the part that is more like the pocket. That's going to go up on the top. So let's pull this up, and we will slip this on kind of like a sock over the edging, at least to begin with. Kind of pull it down so it fits snug and tight. You'll want to stretch it out a little bit. You can kind of see it's a little bit taut here. Watch the sides when you're doing this so they don't get stuck underneath. So you may want to pull the sides down a little bit as you're slipping this first part over. Alright, you'll notice here that I'm paying special attention as the crown here kind of goes over the edge. You can easily split the threading there, so just be careful that you've got enough slack coming down from the top. So you want to kind of stretch and pull it down. Make sure that you have all of your extra slack. Otherwise you may have issues with tearing that as it fits around the bottom. So the daggers here, we're going to want to start closest to the middle. So you'll see it's double stitched here. It's got a wide folded over section of vinyl, and that's where we're going to want to pierce. So make sure we start at the middle, then go to the edges, and then the very last part is going to be our hog rings to seal up the side to the top. And just make sure that you've got the vinyl evenly spaced left to right, so we're starting balanced in the middle. Just give it a press on either side of the dagger, rock it back and forth. It should be sharp enough to pierce the vinyl. If not, go ahead and use something sharp like a X-Acto blade or a knife, pair of scissors, something, to just nick the vinyl enough so it can pierce. There we go. Do the middle two, and then the side two. And it should, it's not terribly hard to do. Once it's done, go ahead and bend those back over. You could use pliers or just hammer them down. Either one works fine. Just be gentle, as this metal is quite old. It's not going to take to bending more than once or twice, and it'll break. So, yeah, we've already seen that happen. while we're working along the bottom here, make sure you give it a good stretch. The small daggers that are on the bottom are much smaller than they are on the top, but they work the same. Just pierce that double folded over piece of vinyl section, and it's more important here, you're probably going to have to use some sort of X-Acto knife or sharp pliers to be able to pierce that vinyl to allow those daggers to come through. Just be really careful you don't make it too wide or it'll tear. And if any of these break off, you'll just have to use a hog ring, probably bigger than a 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8, or even getting into 3/4 of an inch to seal those or tighten those back up to the frame of the seat. Let's take a moment and talk about the hog ring kit that you'll need. I got the one that had the 1/2 inch stainless steel hog rings. This one also came with a hog ring set of pliers, which have a metal spring in them to hold them open. So once you put your hog ring into the teeth or the squeezer part of your pliers, see they're dished right here, so it has a natural fit for the hog ring. It's dished on this side and on that side, so you can very easily just pop your hog ring in and it'll hold it in place ready to use. Alright, we're done with the back. What I do have to do is I have to put some holes in here that will be for the headrests, but I'm not going to worry about that until I actually get the seat back in the van. Let's look at replacing the bottom portion here. We've got a nylon cord that goes around through the double stitched overlapped section that allows you to kind of draw a string, pull it together. It also has the daggers that are placed along the inside edge. These are the smaller ones, so be very careful with these. These are frail. They'll come apart real quick. The bigger ones over on this side work just fine. You should be able to get a bend out of them to be able to replace. Along the inside here, there are a bunch more of the small ones, once again, so just be careful with those or they will break off. Looking at the foam on the underseat where your butt sits, the foam itself over the years has kind of deteriorated, but it's also made worse by the springs themselves actually cutting into the foam. You can kind of see here and there where the foam is actually deeply cut in. Save this thought for later. I've got something special that will help kind of restore this without having to replace the foam. Let's get to the disassembly. Back to our thought that I asked you to hold on to earlier. Take the old seat cushion, the bottom part that you sit on, and if it's in decent shape, use that one. And what you're going to do is you're just going to cut out a section that's large enough to cover the main seating section of the new bottom area. And what you're going to be doing is taking this old vinyl that still has a pretty decent looking pad on it, and you're going to weave that into where the springs are, and protect the old foam from any continued gouging. And so you'll want to split a couple of the hog rings that it has on the inside here, so it's wide enough to be able to accept the vinyl, and then you will slide it in, and well, we'll just watch. You'll see how I do this, or learn how to do this. Now let's get back to putting the vinyl on the new bottom part. You'll notice that along the top the foam is split in a lot of spots. That's how they did it at the factory. They just kind of stuffed it in to see wherever it would fit. So yeah, the bottom, just like the top, has a sock kind of portion and then a flap kind of portion. So the sock is going to slip over the front like this, and then you're going to tighten it and slide it down till you get it evenly stretched. Make sure your spacing left to right is all centered, because when you use those daggers later, you want to make sure that your vinyl isn't offset, and then you have to start all over again. On the bottom here, we've anchored the pull string, the nylon pull string on one side, and on the other side we've left it open so we can pull that, tighten it, and then we'll loop it through one of the bolt holes here that's unused, and we'll tie this off. This basically allows us to draw the curtain lower part of the vinyl taut and over the springs, kind of finishing it out, giving it a chance to stretch and give it a nice appearance. All right, there we go. Kick it with our foot, and seat is done. Alrighty, well, here we go. Not too hard. Lots of little steps. Takes a couple of special tools. Invest in those couple of special tools. You may only use them once or twice, but honestly, you may use them more if you got them around. You may be willing to do that work. So that's how we do the passenger side seat. I'm not going to bother taking you along for the driver's side seat. Basically, it's the same sort of setup, except it's just a little smaller. So, all right, thanks for coming along. Remember, if you like what you are seeing here, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Hit the bell if you want to be notified of any new content. And thanks for coming along, and we'll see you next time.
We need drinks! More! Thank you. Oh, come in. Drink with us. My friends, come in already. You can have a drink too much. No chair for me. Yeah. No, sure. Neil. Fine. You don't have anything back when you come off my friend. Oh, that's much better. Get yourself something to drink. Which? Ale for my friends and me. Yes. More ale for his friends. What? You know any songs? Oh, there's four men in London. Oh, no. Wait, no. I hate that one. Well, then shut up, drink. Oh, Mara, this tastes like boar's fish, my friend. Go to school, take it. I'm looking for something more delicious like her. Okay. Nice. Oh! Are you going to let her do that to you? No, I'm not. Yeah, Bruce, thank you. I'll teach you for that one, Rich. Hey! Just stay down there. Oh! You get my sword and teach you this. That is my sword. I've got something long and hard for you. Oh, this is a fine witch. But too easily beaten, my friends. Not quit your whining and fight. Oh, come on, no, really, that guy wants to know me. It's always been my favorite position. You women never could hold on to your swords. Oh! You know how to slap. Come on. Gentlemen, Pop up.